So Mother's Day is synonymous with bunches of flowers, bouquets. What mum doesn't like to receive flowers? But you're saying you don't have to spend a fortune.
You don't have to spend a fortune. If you go to your local farmer's market, your local flower shop, any of the local markets that sell seasonal stuff, because at this time of the year we are getting the most wonderful abundance of... smell those.
Now, is that narcissi?
That's narcissi from the Scilly Isles.
But isn't it ironic that you can buy seasonal flowers, but you can't pick them? When we were young, we used to go out and get daffodils and bluebells. Now you'd be arrested. You'd be arrested and put in irons for doing the same thing.
Where were you picking them, though, Eamon?
Around Belfast, in the hills around Belfast.
Yeah,
no, countryside.
So while you're talking, you're busy making something wonderful
I'm creating, and this is £2 worth of flowers, so I've got 4 50p bunches of narcissi and
so this is just the plain things with an elastic band around them, nothing fancy.
And if you've not got a vase, which we often don't have, or the right size, every one of those decorations there and this one here are being created in a jam jar.
Good man.
Empty jam jar.
OK. So you've just added some foliage, basically.
Foliage that you can either snip from your hedgerows or from your neighbour's garden, do a bit of bartering, and I'm just securing that with a bit of paper ribbon-covered twine, which doesn't bruise the stems.
And is that easy to get hold of?
You can use garden twine if you've not got it. Good for garden centres and florists will sell it.
That's what I do, garden twine, by and large, from when I do my...
And then you pop in a little label, and that's a perfect little... easy gift to give.
And you can give it with the jam jar or the...
Give it with the jam jar. You don't want to give your vase away.
That's really nice. And do you know what? You could fool your mother into that was really personal. No, you'd gone out and you'd pick those off the road verge or whatever it happens to be, and you get more credit for that, wouldn't you?
It's really nice. Right, so what's going on here? So this...
Aiming after the brownie point.
I said to you, let me just show this without a flower. I said, what on earth is that? Looks like... Well, it just looks like something nasty.
We know what it looks like, darling,
Looks like something nasty.
You'd find on the verge.
What is it,
looks like a bowl of pâté, doesn't it? It's actually...
I wasn't thinking pâté, but yeah.
It's actually some wet sand, and it's a really easy environmental way for anyone, for the children to help to create a quick, easy arrangement using flowers that have been, perhaps some that are from the garden that might have got damaged in the wind and broken off.
And it's just, that sound like you'd have in a
Builder's
kid's sandpit or...
Kid's sandpit. And any stems that aren't really strong enough to go in, you just use a little... green stem there, and it gives you a guide hole.
But you know, the reason this man can do this so well is that he just has a love and an affinity for what he does. And your whole story is amazing, how you became to be what you are today. Because, you know, do you think it was predestined, you and flowers?
It's something I've always wanted to do since the age of 7 at the local town flower show. It was creating things like this, miniature posies, using flowers from the garden, that inspired me, and now I'm lucky enough to be able to work all over the world doing what I adore.
And did you see, was that your mum or parent or grandmother arranging flowers that
No, I mean,
interest?
my dad's a great engineer, my grandma was a gardener, but no, it's
just there.
It's just there.
So that is your sand...
That's
saucer.
a little... I mean, imagine that on a breakfast tray.
Oh, yes.
Cute.
Almost good enough to eat.
Put that on my breakfast tray when you bring me breakfast in bed on Sunday, OK?
I'm hoping Jack will come laden.
Well, while I'm bringing you breakfast in bed...
I'm Jack's mother, you have to help him. So you have to train him to know how to do these things. That's
Probably there'll be some of these on your breakfast tray, an old empty tin of beans.
Or paint tin, whatever you've got.
Any of those, use some double-sided tape and wrap around the sides of the can. Snip it off. And then use some clear tape and just go across the can. And
what are you doing here?
Wait, Eamon.
Very patient.
Oh, so this will have to be it'll have to be a good one here. No, the irony is you're doing all this on a budget and all cheapskate and everything and making it look wonderful, and yet the rich and famous around the world, the celebs, the uber wealthy, they hire him. They hire him. He is the top in the world.
Done. Look, you can see that. So you've done a crisscross trellis.
And all will be revealed with that. So we uncover the double-sided tape. And then you use some large... These are a Magnolia grandiflora leaf, easy for me to say. So you secure those around the sides. Here's one we prepared earlier.
Right.
So let me put camouflage. And then you just trim those stems off. And then that becomes a fantastic receptacle into which you can arrange things like anemones, ranunculus, and the little crisscross of stems just helps to support the flowers.
Because that's one of the hardest things I find about flower arranging, is what lengths to get the stems so that they don't all flop over, but sometimes I go too short, and then they're all sitting at the top of the vase.
That's why, because the seasonal, you know, British-grown flowers at this time of the year, you can buy relatively abundant quantities and just create something simple like this, so you don't need to worry too much about the stem lengths and
so you've got
technicalities.
all different tin sizes there.
So that tape across the top's a good tip.
It
tape
just
across the top is a very good tip.
Obviously, top it up with water.
And then you put ribbon around this one.
Yep. So you just wrap it around with a bit of ribbon just to cheer it up.
That is really beautiful.
Really, really nice.